Hello everybody, I am Fuzzy Face. Welcome back to another edition of this Motorsport Manager career. We're back today with round 7. We're here for the British Grand Prix in Guildford. It is our home Grand Prix, but obviously it's a home Grand Prix as well for a lot of other teams, Mercedes, McLaren especially. They're based in the UK, as are a lot of other teams, even though it's not officially their home. As for the car at the moment, we're pretty much there or thereabouts. We're the third best overall car, but we're not that far off the top. We've been working on improving all the parts in the garage, all the new parts that we've been putting in the car. At round 4, we put the new Aero parts in. The last race, we put all the new power upgrade parts in the car as well. We're getting those upgraded, so hopefully that is going to go some way to improving our performance. As we've seen over the last few races, our qualifying pace has been absolutely abysmal. Hopefully that is going to be rectified this race. We haven't been doing too badly in the races. We've managed to get there or thereabouts, up into the top 10, which is sort of where we're expecting to be. The Ferrari, Mercedes, the Red Bulls took some quite big steps forward, whereas we went with the Williams-Honda partnership. Cost us a little bit development wise with the engine. Obviously we've also had Porsche enter Formula 1 as well. They're doing pretty well with Max Verstappen. Sebastian Vettel though not doing the best in his first season with the Porsche team. Obviously Porsche, their first season in their car, not really there at the moment, but come next season and possibly the season afterwards, they're going to be right up there fighting for the championship if they don't actually manage to get it done this season. Meanwhile, our drivers are just split by 1 point at the moment. Norris has a win, Esteban Ocon does. As we see, the wins are pretty split as it is at the moment. Lewis Hamilton is the only person to win 2 races out of the first 6 races. As it is, we've had 6 races so far. 5 different teams have won the race. Mercedes, with Lewis Hamilton the only team to win 2. Red Bull, who have Fernando Alonso and Carlos Sainz in the car at the moment, they're currently leading the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes will be wanting to close them down, but whilst Lewis Hamilton is leading the Drivers' Championship comfortably, Nico Hulkenberg hasn't been having the best of seasons so far. But anyway, we're going to move straight into this race, our home Grand Prix. Alliance as usual. Both guys are still delighted with their car, thinking they've got the better car than the other person. But hopefully these new upgraded parts are going to see a little bit of improvement for us in qualifying. Hopefully that does take effect in this race, our home Grand Prix Guildford. We usually do alright here. We finished 4th and 6th here last year. Hamilton went ahead and won the race last year in the Mercedes. Vettel was 2nd in the Ferrari. Bottas rounded out the podium in the McLaren, 3rd place for him. So McLaren did pretty well here last season. Bottas has been performing pretty well this season, although I think the last race McLaren made a bad strategy call, did they? And Bottas ended up a little bit further down. Or maybe it was a race before where he was performing pretty well. But anyway, we're going to jump into this, skip over practice as usual, and we'll be back for qualifying in just a second. So here we go with qualifying. Ocon, he is getting his lap started. Norris, he's still on 1 form at the moment. He doesn't have the stat for bad form, which he had last race. I don't think that's going to take effect, but he's still sticking at this 1 form. Hopefully his form's going to improve, but I'm guessing it might be stuck at 1. If you remember back at the last race, he did get the stat that saw him have the bad form for the race, but we look a lot closer to the front runners than we have done recently. At least we're not a second back at the moment, 7 tenths down on Daniel Ricciardo, so that's a little bit closer than we have been recently. So these upgrades seemingly working at the moment, so Ocon and Norris really close together, although we're still there or thereabouts with the 2 Renaults at the moment. We'll just speed up to see where we are at overall after the first runners. 11th, no, 13th and 15th there, so hopefully we've got some time to pick up. I thought we were actually going to be a little bit quicker, but we're still quite slow in qualifying, although we seem to have picked up a little bit of time. We're not a second behind at the moment, although we might have been this far behind before, I'm not quite sure. But anyway, we'll be back for the second lap in qualifying in just a second. The final lap in qualifying is underway, so hopefully we're going to pick up some time here. We have been knocked down a place, both cars knocked down after the bottom 5 teams did their second run earlier. Hopefully we're going to be a little bit closer. We're really close off the first sector here, although the second sector are a little bit further behind. Norris pretty close after that first sector, so it looks like we're going to improve here, so hopefully we're going to be in the top 10. Ocon goes 10th fastest. It looks like Norris might be a little bit quicker than Ocon here. Norris goes 8th fastest, but 9th overall as we start to get some of the other cars start to put in their laps. So we actually finished 9th and 11th, which is an improvement and sort of where you would think us to be overall. But anyway, let's go down and run through the full grid. So here we go with the grid for the 2021 British Grand Prix. The championship leader at the moment, Lewis Hamilton, parks his Mercedes Silver Aero on pole position. Daniel Ricciardo, who is second in the Drivers' Championship, puts his Ferrari, the prancing horse, on second on the front row of the grid. His teammate Charles Leclerc just behind him, who's not doing the best in the overall championship at the moment, finds himself ninth, but looks like he's got a decent chance of putting some decent points on the board in this race. Max Verstappen up there once again in this Porsche. This Porsche is improving as the season goes on. Max Verstappen 5th overall in the championship, finds himself on 4th place. Fernando Alonso with a win to his name this season, 3rd overall in the championship, finds himself 5th. Vettel still outqualified by his teammate once again. Last year's drivers' champion Sebastian Vettel finds himself down in 6th and not doing too well in the championship at the moment. Nico Hülkenberg in the second Silver Arrow is 7th. Carlos Sainz is 8th, who's having a pretty decent season this season so far. Lando Norris still on bad form, finds himself in 9th place to start this race on. Since he's in the top 10, he has to go for the super soft tyre, and Valtteri Bottas in the McLaren is 10th as well. Then we get our second driver, well, not the second driver, they both have equal status obviously, but we get our second Williams Honda on the grid. Esteban Ocon is 11th. Since he is outside the top 10, we can put him on the hardest compound tyre to start with. He is going to try and get his medium tyre as long as he can. He will be doing a one stop. The cars in the top 10, since they're all starting on the super soft, it's a little bit of a stretch to get through to do a one stop if you start on the super soft. So most of the cars in the top 10, I would expect them to be doing a 2-stop race. Anyway, in 12th we've got Pascal Wehrlein in his debut season with the Renault is 12th. Sergio Perez gets his ART up into 13th, as does Stoffel Van Dorn 14th in that Mercedes powered ART, doing pretty well this season, both of those ART cars. George Russell at McLaren on loan from Mercedes, because McLaren are carrying the Mercedes engines this season, not having the best of starts to his Formula 1 career, finds himself 15th, there or thereabouts, the place that he is in the championship at the moment. Then we get the second Renault of Pierre Gasly 16th, Alex Lynn in the Sauber is 17th, followed by his teammate Antonio Giovinazzi, who is in 18th. Both of these guys are still affiliated with the Ferrari team, both under Ferrari contracts, both on loan with Sauber this season, both competing just in case a seat at Ferrari does become available. Obviously that's not looking likely with Ricciardo and Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari seats, and then the Haas team hoping that Cosworth can bring some much needed power upgrades to this car, find themselves 19th and 20th in this race. Joseph Newgarden 19th, Roman Grosjean 20th. But anyway, let's jump right into this race. The lights are on and the lights are out. Hopefully we can have a good race here. Let's just pause. Have we still got, he doesn't have the bad form stat, but his form's just not rising at all here, Lando Norris, and I don't know why. Whether it's having an effect overall on his racing. He's qualified pretty well even with the bad form. Maybe he could have been a little bit better, but anyway, we just have to be careful with these tyres. If we want to one stop, we might try and chase a one stop with Norris. We do need to get this super soft tyre early on here, maybe to the 10 lap mark if we need to do it, because then we can go 18 laps, maybe 20 on the medium. So we do have to be careful with this super soft tyre, and the weather is pretty hot as well, so just running that in neutral should get us to the position that we want. Hopefully we can hold on to the tyre. We're picking up places. We're up into 8th with Lando Norris. He's gone from 9th to 8th. This form's just not improving at all. I don't know whether it's broken or whether he's just still continuing the bad form or what. Just not really having a good time at the moment, as George Russell in the McLaren sets the quickest lap of the race, gets himself up to 11th from 15th. A great start from the young British rookie here in his first home Grand Prix in his debut season with the McLaren team in his maiden Formula 1 season as well. Ocon, meanwhile, we're going to keep him pushing for a little bit this medium tyre. He can, instead of going onto the super soft, he can go onto the soft tyre to finish the race. So we might as well get him pushing a little bit. As we've seen, he does have the tendency to run wide if we push him all out, but he does have this new stat, found religion. It's myself that I found, really. He has a +1 to his focus, so he does have a 19 rating for his focus, so that should improve him a tiny little bit in that when he's pushing all out, maybe he's not going to run wide as much. But we do want to really clear George Russell here, who we saw set the quickest lap of the race on the opening lap of the race. He's right there challenging with Charles Leclerc. Can we take advantage of that? George Russell comes out of that corner slowly. Can we get Charles Leclerc here as well, going round that well, that's quite a few corners in that chicane, pretty much replicating the British actual track there. And Ocon goes a little bit over the corner, and Norris is still ahead in 9th place. It doesn't look like we're going to be able to get Charles Leclerc here, so we're just going to turn down a little bit here. We're where we wanted to be with Esteban Ocon. Norris is still 9th though. We get just about on the optimal temperature for the super soft tyre. Meanwhile, right at the front of the race at the moment, Daniel Ricciardo has got himself out front. Lewis Hamilton, the championship leader, is second with his teammate right behind him. Alonso is there in 4th place, followed by Valtteri Bottas in that first McLaren, doing really well here, and he's followed by the pair of Porsches here in 6th and 7th. Meanwhile, Norris is there with Carlos Sainz. He manages to get that move done on Carlos Sainz. Are we seeing any of these cars turn these tyres down? No, maybe the AI is not chasing the one-stop strategy as we are. Although they don't really need to conserve yet. We're going to try and conserve this tyre at some point. Although we're holding on to this tyre pretty well. We've done 5 laps. It's only down to 65% here. So it looks like we're going to be able to get to around about 9 or 10 laps as Norris makes that move on Carlos Sainz. Esteban Ocon, meanwhile, as Leclerc and Sainz are battling with each other, we're going to try and take advantage of that. We're going to get Ocon going here. Try and get him on the back of these cars as Leclerc makes that pass on Carlos Sainz. Esteban Ocon is in top form, and as we see, Lando Norris still not improving at all here. But hopefully Ocon is going to be able to make this move. He is on the harder compound tyre. We're running a different strategy to all of the other cars in the top 10. But we're hanging on to the cars on the softer compound tyre, and their tyre is going to start fading away here. We're going to go to possibly any lap around about now. The crossover point between these tyres is going to hit, and Ocon on the medium will have the better performance on the tyre. So I'm thinking it's just about there, because we're keeping up at the moment, even though we're pushing all out. We were keeping up even when we weren't pushing all out, but if we just keep going here, hopefully we can get a move made on Carlos Sainz. We don't want to run in overtake mode too long, but we'll just switch back to neutral when the tyres are overheating. So we'll just go down to conserve briefly, pushing a little bit too long in trying to get this overtake made. But Norris is still in front of this little pack at the moment. He's just running along. We've got the 2 Porsches in front. Whether we can make a move there, obviously we know we have quicker pit stops than everyone else. Hopefully we can make a move on the 2 Porsches. Meanwhile, it looks like Danny Rick's starting to get away from Lewis Hamilton in that Mercedes. The other Mercedes is still running 3rd, so the order is still pretty much, it's just sticking as it is, the top 11. Russell's currently 12th, whereas we've got the 2 Haas's running behind here, the 2 Saubers 17th and 18th. The Renault of Gasly currently running 16th, struggling a little bit here, and we've got the ARTs in 13th and 15th. Having a pretty good go of it in their first season in Formula 1, obviously backed by the money of Lawrence Stroll, the father of Lance Stroll. Obviously, the father. Oh, and who is that? What is that? That's Charles Leclerc. Just, what is he doing? He's just cut the corner. He just cut all of that corner. Is he going to get a penalty for that? He's under investigation at the moment, and he's cleared. That means you're cleared. He just cut most of the track over here. He just shot across the corner and he's been cleared. No drive-through penalty, no nothing. Just overtook 3 cars by cutting the corner. I can't believe that. Pushes Norris down to 9th place. Charles Leclerc just flying across the corner. But anyway, let's just get back to this. We want to cool this tyre down of Ocon. He's starting to fall that behind a little bit. We need to cool it down because we do want him to get to around about lap 16. It looks like we're going to pretty easily get to around about the point that we wanted. We're going to get another lap out of this tyre as we hit lap 9. There's going to be 19 laps remaining. Although, is that just before that? No, that is. It is going by what Daniel Ricciardo's done. So as it is, Charles Leclerc is right up here in 6th place now, having cut the corner and cutting 3 cars out. Meanwhile, Norris still not picking up any form. We're going to get another lap out of him on this super soft tyre. We're just getting this tyre back down with Ocon to optimal temperature. Although the weather is pretty hot here and it is only going to get hotter. So it's going to be a little bit of a stretch to do that. Meanwhile, should we get Norris in this lap? Should we get Norris in this lap and try and get an undercut working? We're going to see this. We're a little bit there or thereabouts on the tyre. But we're sort of a little bit too close to the crossover point considering how hot the track is going to get. So maybe if we can just run conserve and maybe get another lap out of this tyre, without falling behind. We're going to try and get another lap out of this tyre. Meanwhile, we've got Ocon pretty much there or thereabouts, so he's going to get back up into neutral. Norris is currently running in 4th place. Alonso's about the same tyre wear as us, 18%. Actually, we're a little bit better than him at the moment. I don't think we're really losing too much time. We're keeping pace with Danny Rick out front, so it doesn't look like we're really losing time at the moment. So we'll just stick this back into neutral and we'll set up the pit stop. We do need to go to this medium. We are going for the 1 stop, and it should be a 1.6 second pit stop if we can get in and out of the pits without a mistake here. Meanwhile, Ocon has got quite a way to go on this tyre. He's used about half of it, got to lap 10. So he's easily going to be able to get to the lap 16, maybe 18, as far as we can get him in this race. Meanwhile, Lando Norris is in. A nice quick pit stop. We come out behind. That is Fernando Alonso in front of us. And we come out of the pits in 18th place, or almost in front of Sebastian Vettel there. So let's just push here. Let's see if we can keep this place over Sebastian Vettel. If we can get the run on... Oh, and he's on the super soft anyway, so what's the point even battling him? We might as well try and get track position. Although he's on the softer compound tyre, a lot of these cars opting for a 2 stop. They are at a point where they can 1 stop this race, but we don't need to waste this tyre pushing against Vettel, because we know he does need to pit again. Obviously, if he does get about 20 seconds in front of us, then he does have that sort of free pit stop. But as it is, Esteban Ocon is currently running in 1st place, a 20-second pit stop. Norris is all the way down to 18th place here, but we've got a lot of cars yet to pit, and hopefully he's going to see himself move up the order here. So we're just actually going to go ahead and try and recover some fuel at this point in the race with Lando Norris. He's just holding position. Meanwhile, Esteban Ocon, we want him to get to about lap 16. What can the soft tyre do? 13 laps, so maybe lap 17. So if we just keep him going as it is for the moment, we'll just speed things up a little bit to 4 times the speed, just get a few laps in here. Danny Rick's there. Oh, and Sergio Perez in the ART has got problems with his car. He's going to be in the pits for quite a while. So Ricciardo's still effectively running first. Lewis Hamilton's quite the way behind, 9th place. He's currently split in 2 halves. We've got a yellow flag there in sector 1, and it's Fernando Alonso who's crashed in the Red Bull, who was trying to go for a 1 stop. Alonso's binned it into the tyre wall there. People, it looks like people have just rushed down here to take pictures of Fernando Alonso as he's crashed right in the centre of the track. Just a pretty opportune place where there's just spectators stood around. But anyway, that is going to put Norris in a good position here, who is still battling away with Vettel, even though we're not really pushing at the moment. Oh no, that's Max Verstappen getting past us, obviously. Porsche running the 2 stop here. That's going to cost them big in this race. I don't know why they would go for the 2 stop. Should have been common sense to go for the medium tyre, go for a 1 stop here. There's not a lot of pace on those super soft tyres over the mediums, as we've just seen. Vettel is not pulling away here. He's not going to be able to pull away by 20 seconds in 10 or so laps. What is he quicker? By about a second. So he's going to be about 10 seconds behind us when he comes out of the pits. Obviously, we'll have 10 seconds then again on the super soft again. But obviously, we're just holding back at the moment because we know we're not really racing them. Whereas it looks like Ocon's going to be able to get to this lap 17 like we want. So we might as well try get him pushing for a little bit as we start to line up his pit stop. As we enter lap 15, we're going to try get another 2 laps out of this tyre, which we should be able to do, pushing this car all out. Danny Rick is starting to fall behind a little bit here, and look at that, 114.3 on this really used medium tyre, although Ricciardo's going low and low here. So Ricciardo just holding off at the moment, and it looks like Ocon, depending on how long the pit stop is, could be coming out in front of Lando Norris here. Should we get Lando Norris pushing a little bit? He is in a good position as well, but if Ocon can get in and out of the pits, this medium tyre can go down to 10%. Should we keep him out once again, because this medium tyre is just performing overtime here, although we've overheated it, so we might as well get into the pits for the soft tyre. We can't go for another medium because per my own rules I do have to use 2 different sets of tyres during the race for each car. So Ocon is going to come around into the pits now. We're going to have to start recovering with the fuel. Or no, just not yet. We might as well keep him going as long as we can. We might as well get pushing here for a little bit with Lando Norris as well. He's 24 seconds back from Ocon, so it doesn't look like Ocon is going to come out into the lead. I'm guessing some of that is down to the form of Lando Norris. Still off form here. And Ocon is going to come out of the pits. We've got a lot of these cars coming in. We've got some of the Porsches coming into the pits who've done a 2 stop. So Ocon He's all the way up into 6th there and on course for a podium here. He's quite a long way in front of Hulkenberg, not a long way in front of Hulkenberg, but Hulkenberg, Bottas have to pit again. So we've seen Ricciardo and Hamilton, they're going for the one stop, but a lot of other cars, like the second Mercedes, the McLarens, going for a 2-stop here for some reason, which is going to put Carlos Sainz in a good position in that Red Bull. Newgarden does have to pit again in that Haas, so Norris is in a good position, although he's quite a bit further down. Going really long with Esteban Ocon on that medium tyre has really worked out for him here. He's on this soft tyre now. Hulkenberg has to pit. That is George Russell coming into the pits now as well. George Russell comes out just behind Lando Norris, also he's a little bit further down. I don't think even Leclerc is going to get to the end of the race on that soft. Verstappen does have to pit again. Meanwhile, who have we seen come into the pits? I don't think we've seen Vettel. So the grey car was Grosjean. I saw a grey car come into the pits. I thought it was one of the Porsches, but obviously it wasn't. It was Haas, who still they do still show up as grey, sort of on track. Here, 18, they do show up as grey still on track and haven't taken the colour at the moment of, as we see over here. Come over here, it's still white over here. But anyway, Ocon is in a really good position. We see Verline pit in that Renault. He's run for a really long time here. And 4th place, that is Pierre Gasly, who has to pit as well. I think we've just made the pass on him. And Lando Norris is up into 7th place. So it looks like we're going to have a really good race here, although we've been over here, been talking too long and not paying attention to what we've been doing with Lando Norris. We've really overheated that medium tyre. We've been running that for so long. Have we just wrecked the race of Lando Norris there? Has been concentrating and been amazed at what Esteban Ocon's been able to get out of that tyre, that we might have just wrecked the race for Lando Norris. I think we might be able to get that medium through to the end of the race. He's done 9 laps on it. He's gone about halfway through it, so he should be able to get that to the end of the race still. But we do have to slow him down a little bit, which means he's susceptible to Charles Leclerc. Although Leclerc, I feel, does still have to pit again. But we're on for a podium finish here with Esteban Ocon. And we are chasing down Lewis Hamilton. Are we quicker at the moment? No, we're matching pace at the moment. Although Lewis is about to set a 1:13.2 to a 1:13.6. So Lewis pulls it out of the bag there. And meanwhile, we have to start recovering fuel now with Esteban Ocon. There's no point pushing anymore for the front runners. We're just chasing down Charles Leclerc. George Russell has done a good job. He's got himself all the way up into 5th place here, going long on that medium tyre. Seems like that was the best strategy overall, though obviously everyone in the top 10, if you're in the top 10, the AI does usually pick the quickest tyre. We have to pick the quickest tyre as well, just so we don't gain an advantage over the AI if we're in the top 10. Just to keep it as it would be if we did have 3 qualifying sessions. But we're just making sure that Norris can get to the end of this race. He's got Pascal Wehrlein behind him on a quicker tyre, who is going almost 2 seconds quicker, although he's started to cool off a little bit now. So we're going to get Norris back into neutral. He's got a little bit of room to push with the fuel, whereas Ocon here's 5 or so seconds back to Carlos Sainz, who's almost off this medium tyre. It looks like Carlos is going to have to pit. Red Bull, who look like we're going to be in a really strong position here, with Alonso at the order, who crashed, and then Sainz, who is going to be running this one-stop strategy. It looks like he's not going to get this medium tyre through to the end of the race, and there we go, he's in the pits with a Ferrari as well of Charles Leclerc. So Sainz comes back out. Where is Sainz going to come back out? He's back out in 12th, so he does still have the chance of getting back up into the points. But Norris is now up into 5th place. Hopefully still just going to be able to hang on to these tyres. We'll run back into conserve mode now just to make sure we can do that. Whether we can fight off Pascal Wehrlein, that's another question. Antonio Giovinazzi in the Sauber doing this one stop is up there as well, as is Van Dorn in the ART, looking like he could be scoring points today here at the British Grand Prix. But as it is, it looks like Esteban Ocon's comfortably on for a podium here. There's no point really trying to push these tyres. They're starting to overheat a little bit. We'll try to cool them down. There's no point really chasing the Ferrari or the Mercedes. Although this medium tyre of Ricciardo's getting a little bit worse for wear. We have seen the AI come into the pits on like the penultimate lap to do a pit stop. Could we see that happen here with Danny Rick, because his tyre is pretty low? We're a little bit better off with Norris. We shouldn't have to pit him, although the Renault of that is Pascal. And just as we said that, Daniel Ricciardo has come into the pits aggressive on his tyre weight. Where's he going to come out? He's not even going to be out into the podium places. Norris is coming right up on the back of him here. although Norris doesn't have the pace to get past him. So there we see Danny Rick just blasting through that tyre. Hamilton as well, his tyres going. Are we going to see Hamilton pit? Is Ocon going to get the unlikely victory here? Why has the AI pushed these tyres? I've turned the aggressiveness down. Hamilton's trying to conserve this tyre. If he's coming to the pits whilst conserving this tyre, I don't think he is. Is he gonna go around again? So we do have a chance here. If we can try and cool these down very briefly, we'll run in low mode, because Hamilton's tyres could go here before the end of the race. Norris, meanwhile, is 5th. It looks like he's going to be hold on to that. It looks like Verline has given up the ghost a little bit, although he's gone back to attacking. We've got a loose rear wing with Lando Norris. So we're just going to cool down really rapidly. We're not losing any time as it is at the moment. And then these last 2 laps, whilst we can't really push the fuel too much, we can push the tyres. So we're just going to attack all out here. We smell blood with Lewis Hamilton, but 4 seconds is a lot to pick up. Is Hamilton's tyre going to go here? It's 19%. The medium can go to 10% usually before it starts losing performance. We're going to overheat this tyre, but it's all we can do pretty much. We're going to try close down Lewis Hamilton. We're down to 3 seconds. Is his tyre going to go on this lap? Are we going to see him come into the pits before he goes through this last lap? It doesn't look like that's going to be there. But there we go. Lewis Hamilton does a 1:13.6. We do a 1:12.6, a second quicker that lap. 2.7. It doesn't look like we've got the time to try and close him down. We just had to cool that tyre down before we could do this. We do have room to go in high mode here, though. We don't have room to keep going in high mode, though, with Lando Norris. It looks like he's done enough to hold off Pascal Wehrlein. Looks like Hamilton is going conserve 2.2. About half on that left. It doesn't look like Hamilton's tyres are going to go quick enough here. What's his tyre wear like at the moment? He's at 13%. It looks like he's just about going to hold on to the end of the race here. We did make up nearly 2 seconds, though. Didn't quite have the pace in this car to chase him down right at the end of the Grand Prix, but we did a good job. 2nd and 5th here compared to what we've been doing recently is a really good result as Norris comes across the line. So Hamilton extends his championship lead. Ricciardo, Ferrari blowing it on strategy. Ricciardo not looking after those tyres as well. Has to do a 2-stop strategy. He managed to get back above Russell, though, to get onto the podium. Russell, though, in that McLaren does really well. Hits the dizzy heights of a 4th place for him. He's not been doing too well this season. Norris is 5th. The Renault of Verline is 6th. Antonio Giovinazzi was 7th. I believe Carlos Sainz was 8th. And yes, he was. Stoffel Van Dorn scoring points for the ART. Sebastian Vettel as well in the Porsche. Running the 2-stop strategy, which was definitely not the right strategy to go for. A lot of the cars doing 1 stops, managing to do it. Why the AI couldn't manage it like they did with Lewis for everyone else, we'll never get to know that. We'll never know why everyone else went with a 2-stop. Max Verstappen way outside the points as well. So thankfully for us, puts us pretty high in the points. So I don't think anyone should have any risky parts, although we say that. And no, that is a drive-through, but he didn't actually get a drive-through penalty. I don't know whether that's something to do with the mod that we're using, because we saw last season, or was it? Oh, yeah, it was last season. Lando Norris cut a corner. He didn't get a penalty for it. He picked up quite a few places doing it as well, just like Leclerc did here. Didn't get a penalty from it, but it did say he had a drive-through penalty at the end of the race. But just the way it goes. There we go. Another podium finish. 2nd place trophy for Esteban Ocon. Esteban Ocon now moves above Lando Norris, 62 points, a long way off Lewis Hamilton, who's now got a 26-point gap to Daniel Ricciardo. Carlos Sainz moves above his teammate once again. Chop changing at the top of the order here. Quite a lot other than Lewis Hamilton retaining that 1st place. And we are now comfortably ahead of the Porsche Formula 1 team, chasing down the Ferrari team. Charles Leclerc letting the side down a little bit, as is Nico Hülkenberg at Mercedes. Aston Martin now clinging to top spot by just 2 points, and it's going to be a close one come the end of the season. But it looks like Mercedes are starting to open up now a little bit. It looks like they've brought some powerful upgrades. They're starting to pull away, especially with Lewis Hamilton. So although we see that Lando Norris's form has improved to a 1.6, so hopefully we're going to see his form start to improve a little bit as we go on. And 2nd and 5th overall. We came 1st overall. As you can see here, it doesn't say the expected result is 3rd anymore. I actually found where it was. It's just in the the Motorsport Manager save game editor. You can, if you go through, I think, to the chairman, you can change the expected finishing position. I think it was in that section. We changed it to 5th just to make sure we didn't get sacked. We came 1st overall instead of finishing 5th. It is a 32% gain on the chairman happiness. Just doing that, I don't want to risk getting sacked at all, so that is what we're going with here. We're still losing £1 million per race, so we've got 36 million in the bank to the end of the season. There is increased prize money this season in Formula 1, and a massive prize money increase in Formula 2 as well, so shouldn't be money problems for any teams going forward. But anyway, I don't think there was a Formula 2 race this weekend. We do have an engine part built, which gets us right up there, but obviously we can't put this engine in the car this season because it is a risky part, and I can't put any risky parts in the car. It is a 1657, which we'll just see where that would be, because if we fit it in the car, we just have to swap it straight back out. It will tell us where we are overall, the 3rd best engine. So next season, it looks like we're going to catch up as in terms of engine development, and we're pretty much there overall. We're going to have a really good car. Obviously Porsche will be bringing a better car next year. We've seen upgrades from a lot of the other cars, but it looks like we're going to be there or thereabouts with the engine next year. And we'll just head into the interview. Qualification was a struggle. You definitely could have done better than 9th here or there. We'll just say that one doesn't have any effects at all, and that is where we're going to leave this episode, I think. We'll just see what else we can get out of another engine build here. A plus 25 to the max, a plus 50, a plus 60. We can get another plus 50 here, and then once we've built this, we can get this one as well. It does have red zone, but that will be into the car for next season, a 115. And if we go with the angle next season, if we can get this built and fully upgraded, we'll have an absolute beast of a Williams-Honda engine partnership deal next season if we can get that done. So we might as well build that, because everything is focused onto next year's car now. There's not many improvements over and above what we've got at the moment. As you can see with the car, we're pretty much the best in 4 areas of the car. The engine is a little bit lacking at the moment, although we know we've got a really strong engine for next year. The gearbox is getting there, and hopefully we're going to get a gearbox there for next season. So next season, we are going to have possibly our strongest contender to date, and hopefully at that point we're going to start seeing our qualifications start improving as well. But anyway, that is it for this episode. Like, subscribe, comment, all the usual stuff. But we'll be back next episode for the German Grand Prix. So until then, I'll see you down the road, and goodbye.